Stock market today, analysis for November 1st, 2022. Snapshot of the markets. Nasdaq down 0.89%. S&P 500 down 0.41%. U.S. Treasury 10-year yield up 0.36 basis points. Gold up 0.66%. Bitcoin up 0.23%, and oil up 2.05%. Earnings continue to happen. AMD, notable stock, reporting after the bell. We'll have to see what happens tomorrow with that. Uber reported before the bell. You can always check out the earnings report. Depending on what type of trading you do, you want to be aware of who's earning and who's reporting earnings. If it's your stock, and how you need to approach that depends on your particular trading style and what you want to do with that specific stock. This is a really easy website to use. stocktwits.com/earnings-calendar will get you over there to be able to check out who's reporting when. The VIX down just a little bit, so we're a little bit under 26 on the VIX, which is it's down. What can we say? You know, like it was up there above 30 not too long ago. Now it's down. Now it's down below 30. It's at 25, right in the middle of 20 and 30. So apparently investors are having less fear. A different type of indicator, this MMRI, indicates risk. We're still hovering around 280, hold back just a little bit today. Regardless of the particular point that it closed today at, let's see, since August 29th, I started graphing this, and it was already in this orange category, which is a high level of risk, but it was in the low end, right? First day was at 210, and it's just gradually been going up. Now we're in the high end between 200 and 300. Is it gonna follow the VIX and keep going down? We will see. Bonds, we got the 13-week and the 5-year with some increase in the rates, and the 10-year and the 30-year with some decrease. S&P 500 closed lower today, had a bit of a sell-off, just getting some support by that 50-day moving average. On our long-term chart, we have this weekly stochastic establishing an uptrend. See if it gets between, starts breaking over this red line, which is 32%, and then generally the way this is traded is in between these two lines is kind of your profit zone. If you have like this wasn't an here was a better setup going long, right? So if this continues with this trajectory here, we might have a good long. The way that this chart particularly is supposed to be used is when it turns green and you have your red line over the yellow, and it's going up in through this zone right there, then that green, this being green, in correlation with the stochastic lined up like that, then it would be a good long. On the flip side, when it's red and it's going down through this area, then that would be a good short. We definitely have some. It's going up. We're in this upward. We got an upward trend going on. The volume isn't looking super bullish at all. It means it's bearish volume today. Technology sector. Also have a similar look on this Pro 2 chart. Sold off again today, so now we're like our price action is kind of in the lower, just a tad bit in the lower 50%, or seems like, yeah, about the lower 50%. Eyeballing it, looks like it's in the closing in the lower 50% of the most recent big bear candle. So we're kind of moving in the sideways range, falling on the bottom side of the 50-day moving average there. Healthcare starting to look like the spindly doji stock, but here's a good example of going long on this particular chart. Green, you got the stochastic lined up, red over yellow, got a good gap between these, and it's going up through those two red lines. And we see that that's basically what's been going on. We're still above the 200-day moving average. We got some weak amount of buying, though. We actually had more selling than buying happening today. But nonetheless, it's still moving up. How about the financials? Financials, down day on the financials also. However, look over here. We got enough money flowing in that it turned green 3 days ago. Starting to get through into this area of a potentially good long trade per that particular chart. It's like a 3 to 6 month type of trading chart. I actually don't use it that way. I just kind of get an idea if money's flowing in or money's flowing out, and I like to look at the weekly stochastic, but I'm not particularly opening and closing positions geared on the way that this is set up to trade it. I'm more of an option seller myself. So yeah, we got a weak day in the financials, and it is kind of moving sideways to the left, kind of stuck in that resistance area. Consumer discretionary seem to be building a short-term top right here, getting some support. Dropped all the way down here to the 25-day moving average. Had an increase in the selling, but we're getting a, as far as if someone was short in this trade, it's getting a yellow, meaning money is not flowing out enough. There's not enough selling pressure to keep this red any longer, and potentially could be transitioning into green. Starting to see that turn up there. The industrials also turned green over here. We got this stochastic getting ready to get into this good buy zone, and we'll see. Right now it's battling this 200-day moving average, and today closed on the bottom side of that 200-day. Maybe it can break through to the other side. IWM, not enough money flowing in to be green, not enough money flowing out to be red. It's kind of in that twilight zone, but it's still going up. Been going up, got this same change in our weekly stochastic. See it going up on our daily chart, kind of open where it closed yesterday, end up closing right around that same area, just a tad bit higher, probably needs a little more oomph to get through this 200-day moving average. Qs, quite a bit of a down day over here, also right above that 25-day moving average, and just overall, look at how much red there is to green. It's been a lot more selling, even though things kind of been going up. It's going sideways right at the moment. The dollar is starting to get some support here on this 50-day moving average, and you can see it's been flickering for the last 3 months. It's been flickering between yellow and green, yellow and green, and right now it's yellow, getting caught here, getting held up by this 50-day moving average. We will see if that continues. The 20-year bonds sold off just a little bit today, and looks like maybe we're gonna have our stochastics starting to move up. Oil is it's really been in this range. Look at this, sold off, basically neutralized. Opened here, next day closed here. So we're really kind of in this range of about somewhere in the $86 range to about 88 right now, sort of staying in there. And GOLD had an up day, so gaining back some price that it lost, but that's not looking super bullish. Traded all the way up here and selling pressure pushed it down here. Now our new candle for the day is right in that, a little bit over where it closed, but just still kind of stuck in this trading range there. Speaking of stuck in a trading range, Bitcoin seems to be making a new trading range right here. And this will be interesting to see how long it is going to basically go sideways. Now we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't know if that's 8 days, because I'm not exactly sure how many hours this candle is active before it closes. But we got 8 of these candles, 8 of these trading periods now that's been above the 200-day moving average, still maintaining above that. Seems like it could be making a new level of support here. We'll see what happens there. I think what we might see right now, we see a lot, especially looking at on this chart, we're seeing an attempt for an upward movement. And I don't know if maybe I should use a different word, because we see an upward trend here. So it's past an attempt, it's doing it, but it's still under this 200-day moving average. It's nice that we're not red anymore. And we got other stocks, that one's still, this has been green for a while. 2 days, 3 days green on the financials. And potentially could be moving green. Industrials. So just based on these 5 sectors that are making up the S&P 500, it seems to be going up, just not with super strong momentum to the upside. As the midterm elections start winding down, or whatever the right term is, I think once those are done, and possibly a little more of the earnings, we'll see how the dust settles. And I thought we were going to get a stronger test to this upside of the channel. Maybe it still will, but it's not. Obviously, it's pulled back a little bit, and maybe it's going to have a re-go at it. One thing I want to draw your attention to right here is, see this little tiny W? It's kind of in this area where you see where it's at today. You can see that going across that line. So we might end up getting kind of stuck here, and maybe getting a trading range. And maybe that's the way that it'll break out of this channel, and not so much with the up motion, but maybe with a sideways motion. We will see. For me, trying to make a video and predict what the stock market's going to do is actually significantly harder than me making money in the market. For me, making money in the market, it's quite a bit easier. because basically what I'm doing a lot of times, I'm looking at stocks that I wouldn't mind owning, and I will sell cash secured put options against them. If I don't get assigned, I make money. If I do get assigned, I make money, and I buy an asset that I would like to own, and then I sell covered calls against them. Some of these stocks I want to own for a long time. Some of these stocks I'd like to own the rest of my life, so I work on selling covered calls much further away from where the stock is trading from, and so that way I have less of a chance of getting assigned. Some of them I don't care, so I sell it much closer, and that's like the bread and butter of what I've been doing for years. And it puts me in this position where it's like, no matter what happens, I'm okay. No matter what happens, I keep growing money. It's definitely more of a tortoise type of strategy. And from time to time, I'll put on some directional trades. And the thing about directional trades for me is that the way that my life is set up, like living in Hawaii, it's in a different, complete, way off time zone than where the stock market's open. And also, so my time of day where the stock market's open, it's not really conducive to kind of monitoring a position. And then there's things that I do for a living that require significant amount of energy to go into them. And so those two things kind of like, it just makes it so easy to sell options on stocks that I want to own or I wouldn't mind owning. So that's one of the things that I do. That's a way that I mitigate the risk, is I sell the put option on a stock that I'm totally happy if I have to own it the rest of my life. I don't sell put options on stocks I don't want to own. So that way, if something happens and, you know, let's say if this was the stock and I sold it way down here, if the next day, if it dropped down there and I got assigned the stock, like I'm okay with that. And what I really, really like about it is, like, no matter what, I make money. I make money. Now, there's definitely ways to make more money and faster money, but it takes a little more management. So it's a really, really easy way to not have to manage it. Not have to manage as much. Way easier to manage. At the beginning of this video, at 1 minute, there was a link to a playlist that will give you more details. There's 4 different videos in there, I think, and you watch all 4 of those videos more than one time if you have to. It'll give you an idea of how to start doing that in your own account, and do it with paper trading first. Make sure you know what buttons to click. Make sure you kind of have an idea of what's going on, and when you feel comfortable, then switch over to real money. And another thing that I can help you out with that particular strategy is go to IWMSuccess.com. Download, at the minimum, download this cash secured put stock selection guide. That'll give you a framework to, a mental framework to help yourself select stocks that would be good for you to do this, and then test them out in paper trading. This is 3 stocks that I sell cash secured put options on. It's not the only 3, but it's 3 that I've been selling cash secured put options on for a long time, and I explain why I like them. So you can, don't use that as, okay, I should do these stocks. Build your own mental framework so you're able to select stocks that are in your own price range, that are in your own interest, but you're understanding how to approach things, and get any of these other things you like. And 6 days a week, I'll send you some hopefully helpful things in the stock market. And you guys have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.